Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharane Trambake Gauri Narayani Namosute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshayamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 30th of today is the 30th of June 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the heart of every single being. We are continuing our contemplation on Ātma-Nivedanam Bhakti and the connection with Vairagyam. Just as a recap, Vairagya is a state beyond attachment and detachment. It is a state of extraordinary inner steadiness. Sthirta. Quick recap from yesterday. Antarik sthirta means internal, total steadiness. Internal purity means antarik shuddhata, that is purity. And internal clarity, that is internal jnana. So, Vairagyam is an extraordinary state of mind, state of antakarana, state of living, where our manovritti, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, they are not getting pulled by the sense objects from the outside, and it is also not being pulled from the vasanas inside. So inside each person is a whole range of vasana. Vasana meaning desires of all kinds that are hidden for certain experiences. So the vasanas themselves do not function in the usual way in Vairagya. So the vasana has been transmuted into sadvasana. Right? So the transmutation means it has taken a different form. It is called parivartan. In Gujarati we say parivartan. Prakruti nu parivartan. Right? So it is a transformation from one state to another. And this is not something that happens instantaneously. It takes sadhana, it takes time, it takes guru kripa, it takes effort in that direction, of course, and upasana of Bhagavan for this transmutation to occur. It is a tremendous change from one state to another. The sadvasana is where desires still exist, but they are connected towards higher consciousness, towards higher realization. Those desires are there. And in that development, there is always a back and forth, pulling back and forth. So our mind is something that is like a child. It has to be guided very carefully, so eventually it can reach Ātma-Nivedanam. It can reach total surrender towards God. Yes. But it doesn't happen like that because we want so many other things all the time. So much other activity is going on. So those experiences we are wanting, they are old experiences repeated again and again and again and again. Because the mind finds comfort in that. But to be able to find comfort and happiness and newness, navinta and steadiness in the process of sadhana, in the process of bhakti, in the process of divine connection, that ability is enhanced by vairagya. So that ability develops in time. It definitely takes time. It doesn't just happen like that. One cannot jump into akhanda vritti just like that. It has its own progression. But it also requires reflection on the experiences of the vasanas, the experiences of the panch vishayas. Take, for example, let's look at some examples. Most of the movies and TV shows that are going on, they have the same stories. There's not that many new stories. It's the same thing again and again and again. But we try to find something new in each time, something interesting, some story here, yes, of course, that's the way life goes. No doubt about that. But at some point, when Vairagya is present, then there is a realization that this is childishness. There's nothing new in this. It's like a small child that grows up, that was playing with the small car toys or certain play money or whatever. They take it so seriously and it's so new to them because it's new at that time. Once the child grows up, becomes a teenager, becomes a young adult, they don't play with those, small toys anymore that they played at the age of 5 or 6. It's something like that. When a bhakta, a yogi, a sadhak develops further, you stop playing around with the objects of the world and the people, places, stories. It's the same repetition. There's nothing, it's child's play. Isme new kya? What is new in that? There's nothing new in it at all. There's absolutely nothing new in it. It's just more enhancement of the same experience. The same stories keep repeating again in different ways. The conflict between human beings is there. They show it in terms of wars. They show it in terms of different dramas. It's enhanced and different ways of enhancement. And once you see that, you see what is new in this. It's just a more enhanced way. Yeah, there are many interesting ideas that can be explored. No doubt about that. But we find comfort and happiness in the same repetitiveness. So to understand Vairagya, to experience Vairagya, one needs to recognize repetitive process. That repetitive process is in terms of external stimuli, repetitive process from the inside, that what's new in this, but it seems new. Because the mind is searching for more stimuli all the time. What is actually new is the opening into the Atma. That is through meditation and dhyan and navdha bhakti. That is new. To really get bhakti in life, that is new. These other things, yes, they seem new. And they may be to some extent. We're not saying that they're not. Technological developments and other things are always going on. So we need to be aware of that. We're part of that, no doubt. We're not rejecting any of that. But 90% or even more of the activity in the world, what is new in that? Look at politics. The same conflicts, the same battles are going on because there is the lack of respect for each other, bashing one person over another. And when they're doing that, these people can never get enlightenment. What kind of enlightenment? They're trapped in the jail of the sansar. There's no chance of them ever being liberated. They might never get liberation because that's what they want. They want to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. They don't want to develop saintly qualities. You see, so if you don't want to develop saintly qualities, there's no chance of coming out of the prison of Maya. Impossible. Impossible means totally impossible. A person can never come out of it. There's no ever any chance of that. So all these things that you see, just turn on any of these news channels, 99% of that stuff, all that stuff that is going on, those people are permanently trapped, almost. Unless they're awakened to come out of it. But it is very unlikely, very unlikely. You see, unless someone can see that this is a totally wrong path. It is not a path at all leading anywhere. It leads nowhere. It leads to Yampuri, Lak Chaurashi. It leads to the cycle of reincarnation. It leads to Narkaloka. That's where it leads. Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna, Samudbhava. So when you turn on the TV, all you're seeing are people who are headed straight into Narkaloka. 99% of them. There's a beautiful kirtan by Muktanand Swami. Durijanana mukha manmare, naraka kundati narsure lage durijanana mukha manmare. If we remember all those forms, those images of all these people on TV, for example, that is worse than the Narkaloka. That is what it is. Why remember that? Bhagwan ki akruti dharan karna, santon ki akruti dharan karna, satsang dharan karna. Remembering the people of this sansar is the biggest foolish mistake anybody can make. These people are prisoners. That's what they are. They're trapped completely top to bottom. and they are causing pain for themselves and for each other. And by connecting with them emotionally, we will be drowning with them also. Somebody's drowning in the ocean, you try to connect with them, the person pulls you into the ocean and drowns you inside there also. This is what is going on in the sansar. You see, so to be very awake, to know this is not going to happen to me. We love everyone. We wish well for all. These people are battling constantly. The legal battles, the family battles, they're endless. Divorce is going on. Stay away from all this thing. But we have to live with it. So in some sense, we have to interact. We interact to the extent that is necessary and leave it alone. Make satsang predominant. Bhagwan ki bhakti is predominant. That will take the jivatma out of the sansar. Otherwise, we'll be drowning back again in this place. In this sansar. Davanar Agni, that's what it is called. And it goes on and on and on. You see, so it is of paramount importance that Vairagya is developed. Vairagya is a state where there is realization of the drowning nature of this sansar. That people are drowned inside there. Think about it. And when we see this, we're not finding anybody's fault. We want to help others, but they don't want to be helped. If they don't want to be helped, leave them alone. Let them drown. They cannot do anything about it. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Matsar, Irsha, Trishna, Ahankar. That is what the person wants. Continue in that direction. You stay away. There's nothing we can do about that. But those who are wanting to come out of this, those are called mumukshus. And they're very few percentage. The percentage is very few. Durlabham. Very rare. But if that awakening is there, that we want to awaken out of this mesmerism, like Vivekananda Swami mentioned, I dehypnotize people. I want to awaken, arise, awaken, reach, and stop not until the goal is reached. Vivekananda Swami said this. Saints keep coming, sages keep coming again and again and again to awaken humanity. Some people get awakened, most people get some sanskaras, the rest of them are just rolling around in the same circle again. Think about it this way. I'll give you a simple example. If Vasudeva Kutumbakam is realized, take all of the countries of the world, all of them, and all they have to do is to realize we are one family. Kitni seedhi baat hai ye? Why that's not being done? Why not? If you have United Nations, you have this, you have that. All the time there is a battle going on. Somebody wants to overpower somebody else. Why can't we realize we are one people? Why is that so hard? And look at the money spent in weapons. Look at the amount of money that is spent in building weapons. It's incredible. You can solve all the problems of the world if that energy, money, time, effort went into Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that we are one family. Stop hurting each other. Stop building all these weapons. Stop hurting each other. How within 1 or 2 years, the whole world will become like heaven. Why not? Because humanity is below the animal level. It is not even at the animal level. Animals have more intelligence than human being does. This is the unfortunate thing. No animal is going to kill their own species. We kill our own species. कितना अज्ञान है, कितनी बुद्धि का नाश हो गया. That's all it is. You see, so this is why Vairagya is needed. This is why saints come, sages come, liberated beings come, and they try to awaken. But there's always people coming into the sansar because of their causal bodies. They're coming from different places in the Brahman, and it's all a mix. As I mentioned to you before, there are liberated muktas coming from the abode of God into this world, and then everybody else in between. And there's people who have come right from the narka lokas right into the sansar, and everybody in between. All these people making all these horror movies and all that. Wo sab kya hai? What is all that? Anytime you go to any movie theater, all the horror movies are there. How can you even make a horror movie? Where does that idea come from? It comes from narka loka. Those people making them and wanting that, वो सब नारकी जीव है. That's where they have come from. तो कभी भी नहीं देखना वो horror movie. कभी भी नहीं, not under any circumstances. Not to ever watch that, because that will stay inside our mind. This is all part of Vairagya. We have to be very careful. We have to be very, very careful, particularly with children, adolescents, as they're growing up, how they are to be brought up. This is called sanskar. Sanskars means impressions. If these kids are constantly brought up with all this trauma, look at the mess, the mental health problems in the Western countries, now in Eastern countries also, because of the 5 senses getting inputs inside the mind that are scrambling the mind. Think about this point. Mind is getting scrambled. This is why the senses need to be kept within a certain range. It's very difficult to do inside this world that we have. But we have a duty to share this knowledge, to share this truth, because people are suffering in the millions because of this. Their mind is damaged, brain is damaged, the energies are damaged, finances are damaged, families are damaged due to the lack of Vairagya plus Bhakti. Vairagya plus Bhakti equals what? Equals Ananda. Think about it this way, equals joy, it equals health. We can make a simple equation. Vairagya plus Bhakti equals health, real physical health, real mental health, real family health. Simple equation. And economy works on supply and demand. If the demand stops for watching horror movies and all those kinds of terrible things, then people will stop making them. That is the whole point. We have to stop the demand from inside, then the outside automatically changes. This is how it works. So it is our duty to ourselves, our families, our friends, that we share this knowledge, that we share this thing, that do not damage the mind, do not damage the internal energies by strange kind of stimulation. इसमें से बहुत दुख मिलता है. And not only that, the swapna avastha, jagrat avastha, shushupti avastha, 3 avasthas, they get damaged, they get harmed. That is why in the home always have a small mandir. Families should come together for morning arti. Arti should be done minimum twice in everybody's home. It doesn't matter which deity, Ganesh ji ki arti, Shiv ji ki arti, Krishna ki arti, jiski arti karna hai aap karo, but do it one time in the morning, one time in the evening. Arti has to be done. If the diya has to be lit in the evening around 7 o'clock, anywhere between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m., 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., ideally around 7 o'clock, 7, Sandhya time. The diva has to be there in the home. Otherwise the negative energy creeps inside. So Sandhya Arti is absolutely, it has to be done. Under no circumstances should that be skipped at all. Ideally, even in the afternoon, you can do it also. But if you don't have time to do that, morning puja, evening arti. Morning arti, evening arti, diya should be in the home. And regularly, consistent bhakti. This is how our consciousness uplifts. This is Sanatan Sanskriti. If we forget all of these things, then we'll be drowning in the madness of this world. इसमें से मिलेगा क्या? Life is being wasted away, literally. Time is being burnt away in useless endeavors. इसीलिए बहुत सजाग, one has to be awakened. Of course, Viveka, what to see, what not to see, what to hear, how much to hear, there's a Viveka in everything. But the internal vasanas are unending and they cause a lot of damage. They cause a tremendous amount of damage for all of humanity. So those vasanas have to be slowly turned into love. That's what it comes down to. Otherwise, there's no end to it. There's no end. You get satisfied one desire, it grows into 5 other desires. There's a shlok in the Bhagavatam, and I don't remember the Sanskrit right now, but it basically says, that people are just increasing the fire by adding the clarified butter, ghee. You cannot put the fire out by adding more and more ghee into that, by adding more and more butter into that clarified butter. Similarly, the fire of vasana is transmuted into the fire of bhakti. Then life reaches its highest potentiality. Otherwise just to live like an animal, eat, drink and reproduce. Every animal is doing that. And then on top of that, to cause difficulties for each other. No, we cannot live that kind of life. And we have to start with ourselves, with our immediate family. Charity begins at home. Bhakti begins at home. Mukti begins at home. Everything begins at home. Every single thing begins at home. And if we don't make our home life fantastic, then it's got a lot of trouble. Then it's just running away. Yeah, mandirs are there. So many temples are there. Kitne mandir hai? Beautiful. Just like here in Delaware, we have 6 or 7 organizations. Kitne, just Hindu temples. Churches bhi kitne hai. Even Christian community, Jewish community, Muslim community. They have the same issues, same problems. Every human being has the same problem. Until we can find out that our time, our energy, our buddhi is not to be damaged. Buddhi is intelligence, which is the brain. Don't damage the brain. Don't damage internal energy. Don't damage each other. This is called Vairagya plus Bhakti. Ātma-Nivedanam Bhakti plus Vairagya equals freedom, equals Ananda, equals love, equals steadiness, equals health, equals unity. How fantastic is that? I'll give you just one final example before we close for today. Let's say if you take 10 families. Let's say you have a friend circle. Okay? And all 10 families decide whatever money we are spending on something that is causing harm, maybe, or something that is not necessary in our life. Let's put that money into one pot. It's literally, you can try something. I want to try this in the future sometime. Put the money into one pot. Maybe some people are smoking cigarette. Stop doing that for 1 day out of the week, 2 days out of the week. Or drinking some alcohol, or doing this or doing that. Something or another that you can cut back and put particularly stopping something that is causing harm. And then put that money inside that pot. You'll be surprised how much money will grow. Thousands of dollars will begin to accumulate within 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, just from 10 families. And then take that money and use it for a betterment of all 10 families. You see this? Who is doing that? If we think about doing it this way, human problems can be solved from the root level. But human beings are driven by their individual vasanas. And because of that, they are just burning their money, burning their energies, burning their life in this. So Vairagya stops this burning. So I wanted to mention this today with lots of prayers for everybody's fantastic development. भगवान को बहुत प्रार्थना है. भगवान के जितने बड़े बड़े मुक्त संत अभी जो है संसार में, उनके सब चरणों में प्रार्थना. That we may have this intelligence, all of us, to actually reach real bhakti and then grow. Even though the world is filled with problems, that is going to remain like that. But we can do our part. Even if there's a dark room, you can light one candle and the darkness is disappearing. This is lighting a candle from inside. Jyot se jyot jagao, Satguru mere antar timira mitao. It's a very beautiful arti. That's an arti actually. Jyot se jyot jagao. You can put it in YouTube and listen to that arti. Do that arti. It's a very beautiful. Kitni adbhut sab baat hai. Inside the Sanatan Dharma, we have such a blessing from thousands of sages, thousands of saints, and we need to recognize as we are trying to recognize. So with that, let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarashi Sarvada Shri Ganeshaya Nama Om Ganganapate Namaha Om Ganana Antva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavin Kavinam Upashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrun Vannotvi Siddha Sadhanam Om Shri Buddhi Siddhi Shakti Saita Shri Mahaganadipate Namo Namaha Om Divalingaya Nama Urdhva Lingaya Nama Ananda Lingaya Nama Dvatish Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha Om Suryaya Namaha Chandraya Namaha Kalakandakataya Namo Namaha Om Navachakrangaya Namo Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarakamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshemamritat Namah Shivaya Om Durge Durge Rakshini Tha Tha Swaha Maim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Om Glom Hum Klim Jum Saha Jwale Jwale Jwala Jwala Prajwala Prajwala Im Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Jwala Ham Sam Lam Ksham Hat Swaha Om Shri Hanumate Namaha Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha.